What is robotics? Robotics are a reprogrammable multifunctional manipulator designed to move materials, parts, tools, or specialized devices through various programmed motions for the performance of a variety of tasks. In this oral, I'll be explaining examples of robotics now that are doing chores for us, the benefits of robotics, how robotics are evolving, and the future directions of robotics doing chores for us. A few examples of robotics now that are doing tasks for us are iRobot Bravar, LG HomeBot Square, WinBot, GrillBot, iRobot Lure, LawnBot, iRobot Mirror, VacPan, LitterBot, and WinBot 850. Late advancement in robotics world has made robots more easy to use, insightful, and above all reasonable. With these advantages of robotics, it is no surprise that they have discovered occupations in each field that is appropriate. From modern assembling to the medical field, robots are being used. The advantages of robots have expanded their adaptability with being fit for playing out an assortment of undertaking applications. They are more exact and reliable than human laborers. Robots likewise take into account expanded generation and net revenue since they can finish undertakings speedier. Robots can work day and night since they do not require getaways, sick days, or breaks. They additionally commit less errors than people, sparing organizations time. Different advantages of robotics are that they can work in any condition, adding to their adaptability. Robots can wipe out risky occupations for humans since they are fit for working in hazardous situations. They can deal with lifting substantial burdens, dangerous substances, and repetitive tasks. This has helped organizations to anticipate numerous accidents, additionally sparing time and cash. In the medical field, robots are used for unpredictable surgeries. For example, prostate disease surgery. Robots can lift a fit where human hands can't, permitting more noteworthy precision. Some robotic advantages in the medical field are less disturbing strategies and less agony for the patient while recovering. The advantages of robots have opened the entryway for their use in numerous fields. Their capacity to be customized gives organizations the flexibility to use them for a variety of errands. Some other great cases are that robotics reduce working costs, improved item quality, they improve nature of work for representatives, increased creation yield, increased item producing adaptability, reduced waste and expanded yield, improved well-being and security, reduced work turnover, recruitment trouble, reduced capital expenses, and save space. A group of New York-based specialists examined the advancement of embodied robots more than over 10 generations, as robots finished assignments to test their willness and found that development factors affected how the population changed. This is the first run-through specialists have considered epigenetics factors in embodied robot advancement. Evolutionary robotics is a creating field which applies the standards of characteristic choice to enable self-sufficient robots to grow new qualities without them having been explicitly modified. Early this year, a six-legged robot developed a gait never observed before in nature after scientists ran a evolutionary-like calculation to advance its speed. Embodied robots experienced a parallel to Darwinian advancement when a manufactured quality pool is made, with genomes which decide how a robot works. Regularly, the robots are made to perform assignments, and their wellness is positioned by how well they finish them. By combining their genomes to the fittest robots repeat. In any case, organic advancement isn't as straightforward as Darwin conceived. It has been set up that our genomes are modified by our condition and encounters, not simply by mutations, transformations. For example, a man who regularly participated in addictive practices, for example, smoking or gambling, risks passing these addiction epigenetic qualities down to their relatives. This exchange amongst advancement and improvement is referred to as Evo-Devo. This examination, published in Frontiers in Robotics and AI, purposes that epigenetics is critical in science as well as in robotics. An explicit Evo-Devo approach has demonstrated importance to the development of manufactured neural systems, says Jake Burra and Aaron Hill of Vassar College in New York, USA. Advancement fills in as another sort of transformative driver, close by the genetic factors of change, recombination, and choice. We take note of what is absent from transformative robotics isn't advancement fundamentally, but instead physically typified improvement. We step towards combining the two by inspecting the collaborations of epigenetics and genetic factors in the advancement of physically typified and reenacted robots. The robotic genome was a paired code which decided how their equipment ought to be wired. Populations of robots finished errands to decide their willingness, light assembling, and obstacle avoidance. The robots were then randomly mated by using a calculation to combine genomes, and the up and coming ages of robots were rewired by their new genomes. There were two gatherings of robots, and gathering for which epigenetic factors were represented, and a control gathering. This enabled the analysis to investigate a robotic analogy for epigenetics for the first time. Over 10 generations of specialists watched the advancement of the robots and found out that the gathering of robots for which epigenetic factors were represented experienced essentially extraordinary development to the control gathering. As far as anyone is concerned, our work speaks to the first physically embodied epigenetic components to be utilized as a part of the development of physically embodied robots, Brouwer and Hill said. Whenever discussion is hailing at your Tesla super gathering, or you are fussing over the caution of the head servant serving visitors on your super yak, think about Robo the Spain. The life estimate droid can sing you a melody, tell jokes, and welcome your visitors. With the right app and a couple of hours of programming, it can even reproduce the motions of your mum while handing off her call from the opposite side of the world. This to process for just 55,000 euros, a small amount of what Hillary Clinton would charge you for an after-dinner speech. Engaging, connecting with, and now and then even helpful robots are flying up in homes far and wide at a fast lick. On the off chance that you don't officially possess one, your neighbor may well do. In a kitchen close, one may even now be beavering without and vacuuming, folding clothes, cleaning windows, cutting yards, or unblocking drains. Around 3.7 meters of these electronic critters were sold to family units around the globe in 2015, as indicated by the International Federation of Robotics. It predicts that yearly deals will achieve $31 million, worth $13 billion by 2019. For the vast majority, housework is the most horrendous, and it's sort of irregular how in 2018, regardless, we don't have anything remotely like Rosie the robot servant, who vacuumed totally everything out of the Jetsons' home. It might at last be our time, in light of the fact that multitasking business visionary Elon Musk simply reported his new robotics firm OpenAI will create residential robots that can perform basic family unit errands. Building a reasonable taskbot is only one of OpenAI's objectives. Another is to build a robot with a variable and characteristic comprehension of language. They say that the robots of today can understand very specific questions and commands, but genuine knowledge is having the capacity to request for clarification and make sense of what ifs being asked of its practical, safe, and non-questionable. Advance is being made in this field with this outstandingly frightening robot almost standing its ground in an existential discussion with a noticeable, dazed journalist. And this little person which is being educated to just take after directions from people on the off chance that they don't place it in serious danger. So scientists are making sense of how to toll verification their robots. Explorers' AI ought to be an extension of individual human wills, and in the soul of freedom as comprehensively and ethically dispersed as is conceivably safe. The organization declares at its launch, the thought behind the non-benefit is to bring computerized reasoning to our regular day-to-day existences as opposed to keeping it secure up in robotics labs around the globe.